long story short, I'm stressed. I've been waiting for this for so long. Since freshman year of college, I've been waiting for this opportunity to do it. And I'm stress eating beef jerky right now. It is 2:27 and my interview is at 3:30. I'm already prepared. I got out of class at 2 and I rushed back and I was sitting there scrolling through my notes. Fit check before we get into my notes. I figured it was good luck to wear Mickey pants. So hold on, let me give you a better view. These are my Mickey sweats from Ross. And I'm hoping it just gives me good luck. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna show you my notes because it's a lot of ramble and personal things for the questions. So I won't show you, but I prepared an intro. I prepared a spot to ask the interviewer's name. I prepared my outro. I know like I probably won't end up saying any of it because it's there and I will panic and I stutter and you know, we're just gonna do our best. I did prepare like my why, how it affects my future career. First thing I want to do, the Tangle bathroom. I want to go to the Tangle bathroom so bad. Listen, I'm a huge Rapunzel girly. I dressed up as her for Disneyland. I went to a Lantern Festival. That was my 18th birthday theme. Yeah! Is this a good time to show off my tangled awala? Yes, yes, yes. Let's hear it for the awala. Anyway, and then I wrote how I prioritize safety, specifically with my previous job that I feel is most appealing for Disney college program. I worked on the Polar Express. I feel like I'm reading an interview to you guys. I wrote down some of my favorite park memories, favorite park, favorite Disney character, spoiler alert, Rapunzel, busiest days of employment, things that they ask me for attractions. I think I'm most nervous about math because I still do math on my fingers and I feel like that's gonna be like my downfall. Thank goodness she cannot see me, or he or she cannot see me, because they're gonna be like, all right, you have a group of this much and then it only fills up this da, 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 da. I'm gonna be like, right, I should have a piece of paper. I should have a piece of paper just in case. I know that like it comes with practice and like you'll get used to it, but I haven't done math since freshman year of college. I'm an English major and you're like, wow, how does that go with the Disney college program? One, I really want to do the Disney college program. Two, I'm an author. Hello, seeing people's perspectives, being in a lived-in magical experience. What did I write down? I'm panicking because I get to see stories and audiences, work with all kinds of people and build my communication skills and get real world insight on people from all walks of life. Does it sound good? I practice, can you tell? But no, I've been looking forward to this for forever. I even have a pen up there that I won't grab right now, but I'm hoping I get to hold true to this because if not, I will cry. I wrote down so much. I wrote down why I really want to do attractions. I would love to be a character performer, but I just can't go to any of the auditions. It's like New York, Florida, and like places. I live in Arizona. So I fear I can't make that trip. I feel like this trip enough is gonna break the bank. So, not to mention I'm going to Disneyland next month, February, for my birthday with my best friend. And then I'm going to BTS Vegas. It's just a lot of traveling. I just can't make it to the audition. So hopefully if I extend my program, I can, which hopefully I will, do all that. For now, would love to be character attendant, attractions, even merchandise. I heard merchandise is really fun. I honestly just want to be there. Give me anything. I know people are like, oh, I don't want to work food service, and I just want to be there so bad. I know they started doing not recording the phone call, so I'm not gonna record the phone call. So I'm gonna give you guys like a summary of what happened once I do this. I need to go back to watching YouTube videos. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos in the past 48 hours because I am a full-time college student. So I've been doing homework and DCP. That has been my life. The whole weekend, whole week, I've been stressed. If you want to see how stressed I was, TikTok is where gonna get all my live updates because these videos take forever to edit. I'm so bad at getting it out timely. Sorry. But I'm hopefully, if I get in, I really want to do vlogs and TikToks without getting kicked out. So following the rules accordingly. Preparing for this process has been like being stuck on It's a Small World, and the song's still going. Just, it's a world of laughter, a world of like, and you're sitting there in the boat like, get me out of here. I know I need to slow down, okay? I've been telling myself, when you do this, slow down. If I slow down, I'm gonna lose track of my thoughts. ADHD, help. I'm scared. I feel anxious. I feel jittery. I feel sick to my stomach. It's just like getting BTS tickets. Mind you, I got the phone interview like acceptance the day I got BTS tickets. It was a wild day. I cried. Can confirm I cried. Shout out to my best friend Kenzie. She's hyping me up. She's being my hype girl. I'm like, my heart is going pizza pizza. Okay, deep breaths, everybody, deep breaths. And I'll give you a recap when it's over. I did it. I put on a sweater. I did. I blacked out. Let me give you guys a rundown. Let me catch my breath. Whew. So, she called about, I'm not gonna reveal her name, and I didn't record it because that is an agreement that you make, because she's not recording, I'm not recording. She called about 5 minutes before my interview time. Whew. But we talked about, like the usual, they ask you the questions about like if you're an international student, just correcting all the information. And they ask the big question of like why you want to do the program. So I just said like it's a big dream of mine. I had a friend who did High School Musical with me in high school when we were in the program, and she said that she was gonna go, and from there like my dream just spiraled. And I've always been a park person. I'm actually going next month for my birthday. So I explained how I've loved the parks. I've never been to Disney World, but I'm a huge Disneyland fanatic and whatnot. So hoping to save magic. And then she asked me in the same time how that like goes with my career. So I explained that like I wanted to connect being an English major, and I at first wondered about it, and I just said I want to be a writer, so I want to work with stories and audiences, and I feel like this is the perfect situation to just have like real world insight on like people from all walks of life. And obviously the storytelling aspect is really important because that is like my job, and like it'd just be really cool to think. And then I like barely glanced at like my notes. It was wild. What else did she ask? She went into roles. So I want attractions. I mentioned that I want to be a character performer, but I'm unable to attend the auditions. So the next best thing for me would be attractions. And I worked on Polar Express. So I connected it a lot with attractions. And I said, I love Tower Terror, Jungle Cruise Skippers, Haunted Mansion. They storytell like while practicing safety and making sure to use those Disney words. Because I did Polar, I love bringing those like magical guest experiences and things like that. And I talked about merchandise, and I was like, while I haven't worked in merchandise before, I would love to learn, and I think it's just as important as if like you're a performer. I think it's the same thing. I worked at like Starbucks and Harkins, so I connected those with like efficient service, get short guest interactions, but making them positive. And then I reiterated the character performer thing, but I said the next best thing would be character attendant, because Polar Express, I had a lot of scenarios of training new people. In this, I was more support rather than performing the show, so I would let them take over while managing the crowd and making sure that they're okay and whatever. And I think that led into like the attraction questions. I'm like blanking out. I didn't record it. So he kind of basically asked me like, you brought up like Jungle Cruise Skipper, like why would you want to do that role, like things like that. And I explained, I was like, I think they're hilarious. I've seen so many videos of them, and I think it's a very nostalgic ride. I think it's very similar to what I did. You can kind of play off people. No scenario is the same, even though you have a script. And because of the script one, she was like, how comfortable are you with memorizing like a 70-page script? Like there's a very long script. And I basically was like, I'm very comfortable. I did theater in high school. I was in Into the Woods and Shrek the Musical, so I'm very familiar with crunching a lot of a script in a short amount of time. And so she loved that answer. I was like, yes, that wasn't in my notes. I was like, improv. And then obviously we talked about safety. She brought up safety. She was like, describe me an experience. I described on the Polar Express, we were on a moving train. The rules on the train were basically written in blood, because in the history of the company, there was a death in 1916, I believe, during an incident with the train. And so those rules they take very seriously on the train. So I was like, I have to keep guests seated and make sure no one's hanging out the windows. And then I described Christmas Eve because it was very rainy. And I was like, to be more specific, On Christmas Eve is a very rainy and cold night, and I'm dealing with hundreds of guests. So I just described me standing at the bottom during boarding and deboarding with an arm out and another arm out like this. And I didn't say it like that. I described it. And basically repeating over and over, even if it's redundant, just so make sure every guest heard it, to watch your step, it's slippery. Watch your step, it's slippery. She loved that. Oh my gosh, what else did we talk about? I'm blanking. We brought up if something's sold out, like what would you do? So I said, like, the question I heard a lot of people say that there might be a system to look up to see if it's in any other park and try to just adapt to what park they're going to and where it might be. But if it's completely sold out, to not make it a negative experience, maybe move their focus to another item. Be like, this is a really cool item too, if you're interested, just so they get something positive out of it. Like, I was so stressed. Like, quick survey, she asked if I was okay with it and if I have experience with it. She basically asked me, what have I handled? She said, you worked at Starbucks, I know you're okay handling that. So what type of like food did you handle on Polar and Harkins? So I just explained that on Polar I handled like hot cocoa and cookies, and then Harkins I worked with like popcorn and whatever. She's like, okay, so concessions. I was like, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. We didn't touch on that a lot. I was like really happy when she brought up the skipper thing. I was like, please, that would be so fun. I don't know about other people, but I feel like that'd be really fun. I feel like I really like it's the backside of water. We talked about a time where I adapted to like a guest who was upset, difficult, etc. I said I had a guest on Polar Express maybe a week before Christmas who had like asked for accommodations for ADA, but they weren't specifically on the car, they were on my car. There was just a miscommunication issue and she was very upset, but I immediately called over a supervisor. We got her the ADA lift and we got her on. I made sure she was first off and first on and make sure she was happy, and she was. And then we talked about like my busiest, like most stressful day, how I felt, how I handled it. So I brought up Polar again. I'm trying to like push attractions, if you can't tell. My most stressful day was Christmas Eve. I said we had 15 cars, train cars, and they hold about 100 people each, not including small children. And you're kind of basically on your own, and not to mention the elements of rain and added elements to make it more magical with bags. It was a lot of elements and I was stressed, but I remind myself to take a deep breath, don't rush, because that's how you make mistakes, and just treat every performance whatever, you know. Or I guess something challenging at a previous job. So I think she asked about Polar, something that was challenging, and I said what was challenging is that every day was different. There's a script to follow, but I got new guests every day and new guests twice a day. And so I had new partners and new elements and rain, sun, snow, you know. There's something new every day, different crowd vibes and things of that sort. I managed that by adapting to the situation and just adjusting my show accordingly while trying to stay on script, but adjusting it to the guests. Did I eat? Did I cook? And she just asked like the normal questions afterward, just to make sure that you know you're not guaranteed any of the roles that we talked about. You might be placed anywhere. Are you okay with the heat? I said, I live in Arizona, and while humidity will be a new factor, I'm pretty used to heat. She asked how comfortable I am with like lifting things, and I explained that I lift huge Cambros at Polar. At Starbucks we have these huge boxes. Harkins we had these big soda boxes. And then she asked like the normal closing questions of making sure that you're okay with this, like if the program, does it align with you, and just like normal questions like that. And then she closed it, she's like, and then one more question for you, who's your favorite Disney character? And I got to talk about Rapunzel. I was like, just in case, I was like, honestly, Rapunzel. I said I went to like a lantern festival, my 18th birthday was themed after her. I adore her. I've loved the movie since it came out. And she was like, oh my gosh, me too. And then she asked if I had questions for her, and I just asked how to make the most of my program, to which she said, just make the most of it by, even if you do something solo, like do something solo, remember that it's work and things of that sort. And she was just connecting it all in a very, like, a lot of the things I had heard, but it was cool to see it like reiterated of do the programs, do the resume building classes, do what they have to offer, because you're there for such a short amount of time. Just do it. Even if you do it by yourself, do it with somebody new. Make the most of it by just doing it. Obviously, she's like, there's a lot of work involved, and just remember that it's work and the experience that you get out of it, yada yada. And then we closed it off, and I remembered her name, and I did my closing outro, and I kept a smile on my face the whole time, even though I was like, and they didn't ask me a math question. Yup. Oh, for attraction, she had asked me, because my heart was going pitta-patta about the math question, because I knew I was gonna panic. Because I'm stressed, like, in interview environments, panic, you know? I feel like I could do it while I was there, like knowing what I was gonna have to manage. But going into unknowing is what freaked me out. She didn't ask anything about that, but she did ask if I was comfortable operating like the machinery to run the ride, which I said absolutely, you know, and I was okay handling. She asked if I was okay handling chemicals or handling sweets and things of that sort, which of course I said of course. But she didn't ask me a lot about quick service. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm so freaking excited. Praying I get it. She said I might hear back in a week or two, so I guess you'll get an update when I get a reply, hopefully. So here's to hoping I get it. I'm gonna go call my friends, my parents. Everybody's gonna know. Everybody's gonna know. All right, see you guys whenever I hear. Okay. I have never woken up so fast in my life. It's 9:30 a.m. I woke up for class, and I reached over. I was on my bed, and I was like, I had my bonnet on. I had to brush my teeth and stuff because I can't stand morning breath. But I was like, open. I was like, you've been accepted. I sat up, immediately called my stepdad and my mom, and I was like, I got it! Oh my god, look. You've been accepted. Oh my gosh. I gotta get ready for class. I already eat breakfast and get ready for class, but oh my gosh, it's not like a burden anymore to be like, yeah, I want to do the Disney College program, I think. You know, because I don't want to, like, everyone will ask later, did you get in? No, I didn't get in. Oh. I got it! Now I can officially say I'm going. I put June 1st for my arrival date, and we'll have to get, like, plane tickets and stuff in March. So I'll be uploading this in February because I'm going to Disneyland in 3 weeks. This is like uncanny. I'm gonna go to Disneyland in 3 weeks, so I'm gonna bring a printout of You've Been Accepted. Ignore the Dairy Queen bag on my desk. I wanted ice cream last night. I'm gonna print it out and I'm gonna take a picture with it at Disneyland to like announce my acceptance. To keep it a secret for 3 weeks is crazy. I'm not gonna keep it a secret from like my best friends. I told my sister Mary Jane. I obviously told my mom and my stepdad. I told my best friends, Cora, Lillian. Lillian, who I'm going to Disneyland with next month, so you'll see her there. I told Kenzie and Hope. Those are the people that really get to know. They're exclusive pass into my life. I think I'm gonna keep everything else a secret, the acceptance. And I made a TikTok. TikTok will be a link in my description, but I also made a TikTok of like the process and like my reactions to everything, like a really cute thing. I'll probably be doing vlogs and other content and stuff on there, as well as just going to Disneyland next in 3 weeks. That'll be on there, so if you want to follow that, great. It'll probably be uploaded a lot more than this because this is a lot harder to edit, but I'm so freaking excited. Oh, hold on, I need to put you down. There's like no lighting. All right, I put you down next to my Transformers. Oh, this is the best year ever. This is genuinely the best year ever. Like, doing the Disney College program. I'm going to Disneyland for my 21st birthday. I'm seeing BTS live in May. Like, I'm seeing Iron Lung, Markiplier's movie tonight. I've been waiting years for him to finish this movie. Seeing it tonight, so celebratory. Like, oh my god. I'm seeing Dylan Ryan's movie also tomorrow. I have a gift card. I feel like Harkins is gonna be like, what you doing here, girl? I'll be like, I'm back. I'm back for Dylan Ryan. And I've been accepted. This is the best last 7 days, I think, of my life. This is my year. But I'm so excited, and I'll probably do a little montage of my photos or something after this of You've Been Accepted. So I'm not going to upload this until after my birthday, so February 21st. I'll be there that weekend. And I'm just elated, bro. I don't know how I'm supposed to go sit in my Shakespeare class after this, you know, like... I'll see you guys for my moving into DCP vlog. I can officially say that. Oh my god. Alright. See you guys then.